with a lot of that thought process, because I think, the one thing about this golf course is I don't think there's anything tricky to it other than the green complexes, and that you just got to find the fairways and trust yourself. Now Max Homa just outside of 5 feet. Ball works down the slope out to the right, turning left, and Max walked it right in, so a nice bounce back.
On Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now, or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
The relentless pursuit of the stories that matter to you. We are 1010 Wins.
All news, all the time. This is 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
56 degrees here at 620. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening tonight. Got multiple reports that the family of 13-year-old Garrett Warren was in fact a body discovered this morning on the East River. The ME still hasn't ruled on that, but the family says it's him. Heartbreaking while the search continues for an 11-year-old friend. We'll have more in a moment. Big talk on Capitol Hill to get the automakers to reconsider the idea of taking AM radio out of new cars. A Suffolk police officer shot last week during a robbery in Coram released today. Hundreds of his comrades were there to show him some love. Officer Michael Fauci shot May 11. The numbers are in. It looks like U.S. metro areas are growing again post-pandemic. A lot of people moved out of the big cities. Well, they've either returned or still slowly coming back. And an Air National Guardsman accused of leaking military intel was allegedly repeatedly warned by his superiors about his handling of classifieds. 1010 Wins AccuWeather. Clear skies tonight. Not quite as cold. We'll dip down to a low of 52 degrees. Wins News Time 621. And from the Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center tonight, here again is Greg Wright.
Well, here is what you need to know about the bridges and tunnel. Still 45 to 60 at the inbound Lincoln tunnel. Outbound Lincoln still 45 plus at the outbound Holland, so pick your poison. Inbound Holland's an extra 30 to 40 minutes off of the Skyway. Outbound covered roadway, you got a stall knocking out the left lane, so stay with the Newark Bay either way. It's a much better idea. Citybound George has gotten better, 15 to 20 up, 10 to 15 on the inbound lower, and yeah, that's the best it's been all day. Southbound Egan still a mess from near Westchester, and nothing at all coming easy at the outbound GWB. In New Jersey, Garden State Parkway crowded up. Northbound side from right around the Union Tolls up towards Bloomfield. Southbound slows to exit 143 because of earlier trouble. Staten Island Expressway got the usual mess, yeah, from the Verrazano all the way to the West Shore, but eastbound too. Staten Island Expressway crowded up. Starts on the Goethals Bridge, not even across the span before you're on the brakes, and then more of a mess all the way on out towards the area of Slauson Avenue. Belton, Brooklyn, eastbound brake lights. Verrazano to Erskine Street, westbound crowded out of Queens from the JFK Expressway all the way back to the Verrazano. Earlier problems left a whole lot of trouble to deal with all night long. Traffic is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Go to Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Experience car buying the Ray Casino way, and you'll see why they were awarded Dealer Raiders 2023 Mercedes-Benz Dealer in New Jersey and Dealer of the Year for the Mid-Atlantic region across all brands. Visit Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Down on the East River, the family of one of the young teens missing out of Harlem have confirmed that it was the body of a 13-year-old loved one pulled from the East River. The ME's office hasn't confirmed, but it's widely reported tonight that the family confirming the death of Garrett Warren while the search continues for 11-year-old Alpha Berry, I beg your pardon. Here's newsman Mac Rosenberg.
The two have been missing since last Friday. They were last seen at a fish market a couple of blocks from here at Lenox and 145th. The group Street Corner Resources is out here just to give support to the families. Here's CEO Aisha Sekou.
I was, feeling a certain kind of way because I was getting a lot of calls of concern because we've been out on the street late night since this happened, giving out flyers, and we took a digital truck around with the pictures of the kids on it.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM in Harlem.
And we will continue to follow that investigation as they continue to search for the 11-year-old. Out of Washington, big meeting today to talk about AM radio and some of the automakers' plans to take it out of their vehicles. New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer says the move would threaten the livelihood of millions of Americans who depend on AM radio. Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey.
Automakers may not understand the importance of AM radio, but its benefits are obvious to the 47 million Americans who tune in every week.
Yeah, so they held a big Zoom meeting today aimed at convincing the Fed to keep AM radio in all vehicles, and both sides of the aisle are in favor of keeping it and blocking automakers from building new cars without it, saying the importance of AM radio during large-scale emergencies cannot be underestimated. Many automakers say AM radio is outdated, what with everything going digital. Plus, the new electric cars, they say, cause a lot of electromagnetic interference. That's fancy talk for static. But Winds family, one thing you don't have to worry about. We've got 1010 Winds on AM, and if you want a clearer signal, you can check us out right here on 92.3 FM. City Comptroller Brad Lander says if you tally up the money owed to folks who may qualify under the Clean Slate Act, somebody's about to get paid. That's the act which seals criminal conviction records for people who completed probation or parole or who did time. These are folks who, even after serving their sentences, can't get jobs, housing, or education because of their past, and employers looking at them cross-eyed. Well, the comptroller telling 1010 Winds they could stand to gain a collective $2.4 billion in annual wages under Clean Slate.
A thing you did shouldn't shape the whole rest of your life, especially when it could be, something as small as shoplifting or jumping a turnstile. But even if it's more serious, we believe that people deserve a second chance.
Yeah, he says these aren't people who've stolen the Chrysler building or some other over-the-top crime here. Lander's office estimates that some 318,000 people with a misdemeanor and 224,000 with a felony would become automatically eligible for a full expungement. Clean Slate is still at the talking stages. Wednesday news time 6:26, and now Bloomberg Money Watch on 1010 Winds. And we're sponsored by the New York Lottery, and here is Andrew O'Day.
If you look now, you might see something in the housing market you haven't seen in a while. Lower prices. Today, the National Association of Realtors says the U.S. median selling price of an existing home fell 1.7% last month from a year earlier to $388,800. Remember, that's a national average. As for existing home sales, they fell too, down 3.4% from March to April. The Air Force is at the center of a potential new war, a bidding war. Today it formally opened a multi-billion-dollar contest to replace the F-22 Raptor fighter jet. It's likely to draw competing bids by the big three U.S. aerospace giants, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Northrop Grumman. The Air Force plans to award a development contract for the next-generation air dominance manned fighter next year, with the plane entering service next decade. Advance for stocks amid rising hope for a debt ceiling deal in Washington. Dow rose 115, Nasdaq jumped 188, S&P up 39. Bloomberg Money Watch at 26 and 56 past every hour. Andrew O'Day for 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
True, and now this message, Caribbean food delights. Grab a patty, take a bite. Wednesday news time 6:27.
Lance Jameson is one of thousands of patients who have benefited from the affiliation between ENT and Allergy Associates and the Mount Sinai Hospital.
Lance was suffering from a sinus infection that led him to Dr. Andrew Oyster from ENT and Allergy Associates.
Dr. Oyster detected that Lance had something more serious going on. Because of ENT and Allergy's unique clinical affiliation with Mount Sinai, Dr. Oyster got Lance and his medical records to Mount Sinai within 48 hours.
Dr. Satish Govindaraj at Mount Sinai Hospital performed a biopsy, which confirmed a benign tumor.
Surgery is scheduled next day. The post-surgery report? No evidence of cancer. For Lance, that was a real relief to hear.
ENT and Allergy Associates and the Mount Sinai Hospital. That's the power of partnership.
For your same-day appointment at ENT and Allergy, call 1-855-ENTA-DOC. Or visit entnallergy.com/Mount Sinai.
This is important information from Spectre Law Group, New York's most trusted immigration lawyers. Do you or your loved ones have to see an immigration judge? Do you have a case in immigration court but don't know what to do? Call immigration lawyers at Spectre Law Group at 646-543-0745 now. Having the right lawyer can mean the difference between getting deported and staying in America. Talk to them. They know what to do. Write this number down. 646-543-0745 or visit them at SpectreLawGroup.com. That's SPEKTOR lawgroup.com. Spectre Law Group now offers consultations over the phone or Zoom. Lawyers at Spectre Law Group have helped thousands of people, and they can help you. Spectre Law Group, your immigration lawyers. 646-543-0745. 646-543-0745.
Cars for Kids. Never worry about dealing with your old car again. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS today or donate online at carsforkids.org for next day pickup. That's cars with a K.
AccuWeather says breezy and cool this evening. Mostly clear skies tonight. Not quite as cold, though. A low of 52 here. 40s in the burbs. And then tomorrow, sun and some clouds, nice and mild, with a high of 68 degrees in the city. Coastal suburbs, you'll see low 70s inland. And then tomorrow night, increasing clouds to start off the weekend. The evening, a low of 56. Saturday, rather cloudy with some rain on occasion. And a high of 68 degrees. And Sunday's supposed to be really nice and warmer with some sun. And a high of 75. Right now, 56 degrees in Central Park. Good evening, I'm Larry Mullins. When's news time? At the Tone, 6:30.
Good evening, I'm Lori Madden. It was a happy homecoming for a Suffolk County police officer today.
A week after he was shot, Officer Michael LaFauci was wheeled out of the hospital, his fiancée Skylar, holding their 17-month-old daughter. LaFauci's mother Lori said they are blessed.
I just want to thank the hospital, the nurses, thank the entire Suffolk County Police Department family.
LaFauci was shot at close range in the leg and nearly died, said Suffolk County Police Surgeon James Boswinkle, who called his release miraculous.
Mike has a long recovery in front of him. We are hoping and praying that he makes a full recovery.
In an ironic twist, the gunman LaFauci was chasing, 20-year-old Janelle Funderburk, was rescued from a burning car in Dix Hills last August by Suffolk County police officers. Marla Diamond, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM at Stony Brook University Hospital on Long Island.
Wednesday time, 6:31. Time now for traffic and transit with Greg Rice.
Now, Lori, we told you the outbound Lincoln was bad earlier. Turn it up a notch. Outbound Lincoln center tube shut right now as they fish out a stall. So if you're attacking the Lincoln off of 9th Avenue, well, first off, don't, because it's going to run you at least 60 to 90 minutes as it stands right now. It's getting better, faster off of 11th Avenue, so if you can sidestep over to 11th and get out of town that way, better option. 45 plus at the outbound Holland. Inbound Holland's 30 plus from the Skyway, better off the Newark Bay. Inbound Lincoln's 45 to 60 minutes. It's just been some kind of day over there. Inbound George, 15 to 20 up, 10 to 15 down, and not a hint of a happy ride getting you out of town at this hour. The ride in New Jersey, Route 3 continues to crawl westbound all the way back to Route 21. Garden State Parkway, some leftover northbound traffic out of the Union Tolls, all the way on up to Bloomfield. Staten Island Expressway, you're used to the westbound mess from the Verrazano itself over to the West Shore, but how about the eastbound ride? You're bad from right around mid-span on the Goethals all the way on out towards the area of Bradley Avenue. Eastbound LI bad right out of the Midtown Tunnel, and it stays a mess over to Roslyn Road in Nassau County, where you're dealing with an accident, knocking out at least one lane. If you're in a jam, call the Barnes Firm traffic tip line at 844-JAM-1010. That's 844-JAM-1010. Traffic sponsored by the Barnes Firm. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
I'm attorney Rich Barnes. If you've been in a car crash, choosing the right firm is crucial to get the help you need and the best result possible.
Manhattan, Long Island. Now the AccuWeather 4-day forecast. Here is meteorologist John Furyk.
We'll have a breezy, cool evening out there. We'll have a mostly clear sky for tonight. It won't be as cold as it was last night and this morning. Down in the 40s in the suburbs, 52 in the city, and then tomorrow, a nicer day. Sunshine to clouds. We're up to 68, increasing clouds tomorrow night. We're down to 56, and then mostly cloudy Saturday. Some rain at times. At I-68, the steadiest rain may very well be over Long Island up into Connecticut. Then we dry out on Sunday, partly sunny. We're up to 75, certainly a better day of the weekend, and dry weather continues Monday and Tuesday. And now the Allergy Alert forecast, sponsored by Ymca and Allergy Associates. Book your same-day appointment online today. Tomorrow's outlook is medium to high, with oak, birch, and maple, the predominant pollen. Right now in Central Park, 56 with sunshine, going down to 52 tonight in Midtown. I'm AccuWeather's John Furyk on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
This is Idalis Rodriguez, Commissioner of the New York City Department of Transportation. Mayor Eric Adams and I want to remind you that speeding ruins lives. Drivers, watch out for pedestrians and cyclists. slow your turn to less than 5 miles per hour.
Wednesday time, 6:33. U.S. cities are once again growing in population, reversing the drops that were seen in 2021 following the pandemic. That's according to new estimates from the U.S. Census Bureau, which says the growth rate for all U.S. metro areas is up 0.4%, with the biggest gains seen in Dallas-Fort Worth, Washington, D.C., Seattle, San Diego, Minneapolis, and Miami-Fort Lauderdale. New York lost population last year, but with much smaller rates compared to the first year of the pandemic. Wins News Time 6:34. A Massachusetts Air National Guard member charged with leaking military documents had been on the radar of his superiors.
In court documents, prosecutors say Jack Texera had raised concerns on multiple occasions about his handling or viewing of classified information, including taking notes and putting them in his pocket, but they say he continued leaking documents even after being admonished by superiors. He's accused of sharing highly classified documents about national security issues in a chat room on the social media platform Discord. They included information about the U.S., its NATO allies, and Ukraine in one of the biggest intelligence leaks in years.
Correspondent Cammie McCormick, Wins News Time 6:35. President Biden's re-election team is crunching those electoral map numbers.
The campaign's built around a simple premise.
It's time to finish the job.
And its chief says there are a number of viable pathways to making that happen by getting 270 electoral votes. In a memo, campaign manager Julie Chavez Rodriguez says the goal is to hold battlegrounds Biden won in 2020, like Michigan and Pennsylvania, but also compete where he lost, such as North Carolina and Florida. Rodriguez writes the race affords significant opportunities to boost Democratic support, and the campaign will rely heavily on leveraging voters' social circles. Sagar Magani, Washington.
56 degrees now, clear sky here in the city. We are going down to 52 degrees tonight. Not as chilly as last night, but we will get into the 40s in some suburbs. Wins News Time, 6:36. Indy swings into action in Cannes. 10-10 wins. Entertainment is next.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, get a DeWalt cordless impacts driver for just $99. Was $159. That's a savings of $60. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Lowe's knows savings.